Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I think, see if I can just interview. Hope you're doing well. We are going just to start in a minute. In the meantime, let me know if you see me fine and you hear me fine. And we will start in 1 minute to this Etsy U workshop on branding. If you can let me know where you watching this workshop from, that'll be fine. I can see someone from Germany. Hello. So we are going to start very, very soon, 1 minute on this Etsy U workshop on branding. So if you want, just grab a notebook and maybe a cup of coffee or tea or water or whatever you drink or whiskey. And we will start very, very shortly. In the meantime, a little bit about how you say, rules. We are going just to do first all the workshop, and then we're going just to do the questions at the end. So while I'm doing our workshop, I can't see your questions. So what I recommend is that you just type them in the chat, and then at the end of the workshop, I would then read them all. Yes, because once I put the big screen, then I cannot read the chat. So I hope that's okay. I think that is just like the best way. So Q&A at the end, and yes, right now let's just crack on. Great. So I'm going just to share the full screen. That means that from now on, I'm not going just to read the chat. So I hope that's okay. Present to view. Great, fantastic. So I'm sure now you can see it all great. Fantastic. So welcome to this Etsy U workshop on branding. So we're going just to see what are like the best practices just to, maybe tune in our brand and logo, and as well what kind of colors and palette do we use, maybe photography as well. So how can we enhance and improve our brand just to have a brilliant Etsy shop right now? So this is the first about a little bit about me. My name is Silvina, and I am a paper artist. I run my Paper Cut Forest. I've been on Etsy for the past 10 years now. And I lead the Brighton Etsy team. Teams are fantastic because they are a local kind of community that you can just see what's going on with your shop. If you need any help, I'm pretty sure you can find a team in whatever you are in the world. There's teams everywhere. So on the forum, try just to find if near you have a team. I'm pretty sure there is one. And if there's not, you can start one. And I'm very passionate about community. I've been an Etsy seller specialist for the past year or so. So I've been doing these workshops to help other sellers. And now I'm into the Etsy University, Etsy U workshops. So here we are. So what are we going just to do today? Today, this is the agenda that we're going just to see. What we're going just to check is what can define and create a brand promise. We're going just to see and develop a branded design palette. we're going just to try to customize the look of your Etsy shop and the packaging and materials, customer service and social media, and we're going just to see a little bit of the worksheets at the end. Um, so what we're going just to see is how we're going just to make your products more special and memorable. And your brand is what converts the casual browser into a repeat customer. So let's crack on. Number one, the first question is like, what is a brand? And I think your brand is what gives your business a personality and communicates who you are and what you care about. Your brand sets the tone for your business, yeah. So it creates a memorable impression that helps customers to know exactly what to expect when they're purchasing from you. Kind of in a simply put way, it's a combination of the image that you're trying to project to your business and the association of memories that your customer associate with the projected image. So, for example, let's say popular brands association. So, Comfort is soft, and Coca Cola is classic, and Apple is simple. Let's just put it in a very simplistic way, something like that. So, what we're going to see here is that people connect the promise that a business makes to the customers. So, this promise represents the set of expectations that your customer associate with your business. So, how can we define your brand promise? The first thing is that when thinking about the identity that you want to establish for your brand, it's best to start defining what sort of promise you want to make to your customers. This promise will provide a foundation of bringing your brand to life. All business decisions should be aligned with that brand promise. For example, Adobe will be at Adobe, good enough is not good enough. In Airbnb will be belong anywhere. And eBay is provide a global trading platform where practically anyone can trade practically anything. In my case, my brand, my paper cut forest, I actually set to kind of the promise of sustainability and use as many eco products as possible just to keep it to the minimum impact for the environment. And I really try just to make the decisions into that one. So that is what is very important to me. So maybe something that you need just to think about what is important to you. So first, we have a couple of questions to define in your brand. The number one is, how do you decide on a brand promise? So to help to identify this, what sort of promise you want us to make, start by answering the following questions to define your brand. Number one, why do you sell your products? So shoppers are drawn to the authenticity and personal aspect of what you do. I always say this, people buy from people, okay? So think about the story of your business, how you get started fits into your brand. Sharing key backstory details like initial creative spark, notable milestones, and how your business has evolved can actually help shoppers connect with your brand on a personal level. Then, second is, who is my target market and what problems do I solve for them? So, understanding who your target market is and how your products will improve their life will actually help you to create a message and identify what resonates with their values, and interests and needs. Then, a pro tip here will be just to create a rough profile of your potential audience. So picture the person that who will use your products, your ideal customer. And are they the perfect party host? I don't know, the proud pet owner or an inspiring gardener? Just consider to define the characteristics and actually be as specific as you can. Um, when you are thinking the core demographic that when you're creating your items, who will be cultivating your brand, who will be the person who will love your product. So think about age, income level, local climate, cultural traditions, and personal taste. Those are things that will impact on the purchase patterns. Another Another question just to ask is, what are the unique features and benefits of your product? So, what does your product reliable and uniquely bring to the table? Think about what you sell. What makes your knitted dog jumpers different from other dog jumpers? So what is your USP? They call it unique selling point, basically. And I think that can just what differentiate you to your competitor. It's just kind of very very important. And I think it's always very good just to know what is your USP. To think about what makes you different from someone else. And what can you offer from your to the customer perspective? What is unique about what you can serve their needs? And what type of feelings and experience your product brings? You can always start with like descriptive words. What kind of is it warm? Is it fun? Is it colorful? Is it more serious? Is it classic? So things like that. Think about descriptive words that can actually say things about your brand. Then once you establish your image, yeah, of what your business want to project, then it's time to create a brand promise. So remember that the best brand promises are bold, concise statements that convey the benefits your product offer over your competitors, then contains a simple and clear message, should be no longer than a sentence or two, and are memorable taglines that reinforce the essence on your vision or mission. When crafting your brand promise, don't try just to get a lot of things to a lot of people. This will dilute the message. So actually, maybe stand for one thing in a big way is much better. And always ask for feedback. Just ask for friends. What do you think? What do you think of my brand name and my brand promise? Just always is just good to ask other people. These are some really nice product photos as well, that they are showing in the photos already what kind of product they are selling. A lot can say on an image, like the colors, the style, the way, you can just see one. The one on the left is much more handmade and is cozy, and it gets more traditional and homely decor. And the other one is a little more classic, a little more cold, much more simplistic. So a lot can say already on what you're selling, and your brand promise on the photos as well. We're going just to get through this in a bit. So communicate your brand is before and during the sale. I think an attractive logo always help, and your shop home. Visual design is really important for brand identity. Like the fonts that you choose, the colors, the design assets, the photos, they all give you just a feeling. Design marketing materials with your brand in mind, like business cards, marketing, promotional materials, like social media. They should just say and show your aesthetics. Write item descriptions with the tone of voice that you want to reflect your brand's personality. I think that's important. So tell the story behind your product. You have one bit on your shop that is about you. You need to use it. Put your photos about you. Show maybe hands, show process, how you're doing your products. People want us to see that. Then after the sale as well, you can design your packaging to be consistent with your brand personality. Well packaged, item will impress your buyers. And as well, for example, if you're thinking about sustainability, try just to use as well, for example, in my case, I use eco disposable biodegradable items, like cardboard, things that they can recycle. So, if that's important to me, that message can be to the end, like all along. um then branding as well extends to every other aspects as well from your business. So not only just packaging, but as well like customer service. Just maybe full attention to the customer and what do they want, what just make a memorable shopping experience. um Maybe do a loyalty program, newsletter, social media content, something that you can, I don't know, a giveaway. I always just say this story in all my workshops. I had one customer that I made a massive mistake in their order. It was a personalized thing. And I was mortified. It went to Germany and it was all wrong. And he sent it back and I did it again. And I was just so apologetic. And I just took the cost of doing it again, sending it back, everything. That guy came to me 5 more times with orders. That mistake and how did I solve that mistake made that he came back. Not him, he said his sister as well. So it's that kind of thing that people remember. Yeah. So it's just something just to have in mind. Okay, so how we develop your brand's palette? I think as well the colors can, and like your visual identity can say a lot about your brand. So, for example, similar to what we were talking about the brand promise, these visual can bring your brand to life. Yes, and they can establish some kind of profile that give a reference. Okay, what is your brand about? Your logo says things, your business cards, packaging, like all the signage of your product is quite important. So I think create a clear aesthetic will really help you just to connect with your target market. The brand palette you can choose as well. You can always change it. Sometimes maybe you will use some colors if it's coming to Christmas or when it's the spring. So you can just change that. But I think it's something to think about. As an activity, I will give you kind of homework just to do. If you can remember 4 of the words that you chose to express the feeling and experience you want your customers to associate with your shop. Yeah, we think about 4 words. I don't know, let's say I want my brand just to be remembered as sustainable, eco, unique, and surprising. Let's put it that way. Then let's just using those words to see what kind of colors associate with. For example, eco comes completely like earth colors and green colors to mind. So that will be a good activity just to start thinking um, for after this workshop. What 4 words would you associate your brand with, and as well if those words bring some kind of color to mind. So these are some ideas to develop your brand palette. Yes. Number one, we were just talking about colors, like color combinations. They can evoke personality of your brand, like positive visual association can you channel to capture the attention of the target market. And you just think about maybe 5 complementary hues to the basic. It can be, I don't know, for example, let's say that you just choose something like green and white. Fine, perfect. And then you can just see which ones will be like alternative secondary colors. I think there is actually on Canva, you can Google, there's an article called Choosing the Perfect Color Palette. So if you just Google that, put Canva at the end, you'll see an article that is quite interesting thing just to read. As well, fonts. You know, tackling which kind of font I want us to associate. Is it something more classic? Because you know what, fonts have personality. They really do. You know, I'm a graphic designer, and I know that certain fonts tell me something that others don't. So when I chose mine for my Paper Cut Forest, I went for something completely classic, that it was just, you know, kind of timeless. But that doesn't mean that if yours is more fun, maybe you're more bold. You have just to kind of design or think that in mind when you're doing your logo. And as well, photography, you know, what kind of props do you use, what kind of colors, what kind of background, you know, what kind of color you use. That says a lot, you know. And if you can just try just to be cohesive, like something that the styling can just show this branding as well, you know. If you want just to keep it minimal, you can just do white and a few props. But if your is, you know, your brand is colorful and bold, maybe you can just choose that your pictures say that too, you know. So it's something to maybe have a look and think, have a look in your shop and start thinking these things, you know. For example, the props that she's using, everything that she's using in this picture, they're well thought, you know, what kind of prop she's using, the colors, how warm they are, that shadow even of the plant, you know, is giving me an idea of what she wants to communicate. This as well, you know, what we were just talking before. You can have the first one by Lulu Flora, you have like fun, bright, celebratory, happy. Then the middle one can be like natural, artisan, high quality. And then the other one with the wellies can be playful, eco friendly, practical. You see, from the picture, you already can say a lot about the brand, a lot. So I think it's something just to think and go to your shop with new eyes and just see if there's something to tweak in your photography. Maybe, you know, is there something that you didn't thought? Let's go back to first that exercise of the 4 words that you want us to emulate and communicate in your brand. Okay, so think about like the feelings, experiences, you know, that you want the pictures of your brand to evoke. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we customize the look of the shop? So once you establish the colors, the fonts, and the photo style that you align with the brand identity, the next step is to incorporate the elements to the design palette that into your shop visual story. So, for example, we have here a few examples of very strong brand identities, you know, that these shops are good just to, you know, check out. Maybe shop icon, banner, photos, video, about section, play, how they play with each other. I really think that another always good place to go and check good shops and good photography is the Editor's Picks. On the Etsy homepage, they have all sections of editor picks. There's a reason they are chosen those products and those shops. So it's always have a look around there. You know, this one as well, as you can see, just very strong, very nice. The way they are using color and materials just to say things about the process. They are absolutely stunning, these photos. It's just again like more like examples of shops that they have really strong brand identities. So the things that you can customize in your shop are the shop icon. Yes, that is the little image that you can just put your icon. Then you have your shop banner, and try just to get consistency. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you have to put everything too much, but consistency in the visual elements that you're using and the colors. If you just get something that is kind of cohesive, okay, and that as well then goes to your photos. You know, they should align really. So you have the banner, you have the photography of your shops, you have the shop icon, you have your about section that we were just talking before, that you can just tell everyone about your brand and about you. So there are things just to revisit maybe. And just maybe now after this workshop, you go to your shop and have a look again. So look at this, for example. This one is a great example how they use the shop icon for the business. You know, if you're new to graphic design, you can just actually go to Canva and they help you to simplify the process. But basically, you can just see here how her shop icon it really reflects her brand. Just see the colors, that she's using on the product, and it's a very it's a very very good um, cohesive shop icon. These are a few questions that we can just think about, when we're actually doing a logo. Is it easily understood? Is it memorable? Can it scale down? Always try just to see if you can just do it smaller and still be readable. So that means it's a good logo. And if it's memorable, is it good recognizable? So my logo is 3 trees, and the 3 trees are actually representation of my 3 children, and I wanted just to put them there. The reason I did as well trees is because I used just to have in my shop. My shop was called my name, Silvina De Vita, which no one could pronounce. So it was terrible for SEO. So when I rebranded to my paper cut forest, I wanted just to put my name somewhere. So I knew that my name, Silvina, on Latin means from the woods, from the forest. So I wanted just to bring that forest to my brand. And then, of course, I work in paper. So I thought, let's put like my paper cut forest, the paper there. So why I went for the logo, I thought, okay, I wanted to put the trees. And then, of course, I put something personal about my children. So I put 3 trees, So there's a story there. It's a lot of thought. And it took me a long time just to make all those decisions. So just think about what's important to you. What you want us to um, be remembered for, and of course on my about section I tell this story about that I've been selling on Etsy with a name that no one could find, and then when I rebranded, why did I rebrand it? So it's always a good story, and people remember stories. This is another a strong example of shop based. It's a type base, but it's actually very very good. Really really nice. Lovely graphic complements that just takes in the shop. Another thing that we think about is the shop banner. Like you can just use that shop banner to use the most prominent graphic that buyers are going just to see when they visit your shop. Maybe it's an image, or image with text. That's an absolutely wonderful image for a banner. So some tips for the banner: design to the correct dimensions. Try just to be display clearly, signal to buyers what is the business about. You have 2 standard options. You have big banners or mini banners, so you just choose the one that you like. Then highlight your best imagery. Try just to put maybe images in your banner. That will be nice. You can actually do a combination of 2 3 images on the banner. Use text sparingly. If you want us to include your shop name of your banner, make it big enough just to read on mobile. Think about these things. And reflect major milestones. Like over the course of the year, the banner is good just to reflect seasonal changes. When Christmas comes, I change my banner to something a little bit more festive, and I put those products there accordingly. So it's something just to not just do once and forget about it, but maybe every now and then just recheck. This is another good example of a good banner. Another very good example of another banner. As you can see, there are like 4 photos. This is another banner that for Etsy Plus subscribers, they have an advanced customization that you have like a banner that passes through. You have a carousel or a collage, and they are clickable. So this is if you have a Etsy Plus subscription. Then what we're going just to see as well is photography. We've been talking already about like how if your products is the heart of your business, the only way just to represent them if you have an online shop is with photos. So the idea is that when you just take your photos as well, try just to arrange the listings, remember like the background, the complement. So just to make the shop cohesive, what we were talking before about colors and backgrounds, that they don't be too cluttered. So something cohesive and memorable is always a very good idea. As well, if you have, you can just have feature items. Again, if you have the Etsy Plus idea, you can just have the feature items there. But if you don't have the Etsy Plus, you have 4 items just to put at the very beginning. So use them, use and feature your best listings. And I change that all the time as well. Every 2-3 months, I change my feature listings. So it's a good space just to attract new customers. So just use it. It's like a cherry picking 4 items that is the best that represent your shop aesthetics. When you say that keep your full queue, means that always have maybe 4 or 5, with the star, and that means that they're going just to be featured. So then if one run out of stock, or for example gets inactive, then the next one is ready. Be consistent, with all your imagery and imagery. Sorry, so images. Your feature listing, just try just to check if you have the best first photo there. Try to mix and match what you do. Just if you just do different stuff, put different listings and different products there, and keep it fresh. Just rotate them. That's what I just do all the time. I change them really fairly regularly. Then best practice. Well, this is what we've been just talking before. Keep a full queue. Be consistent. Mix and match, and keep it fresh. It's exactly what we just discussed. The about section, I think we said before, these are the home of your homepage. Just this is when you can just tell your buyer what's about you, what inspired you about your products, how they are made, the story. Just tell the story about you. People want just to hear from you. They want to read that. They just come to buy from real people. And I said that before. People buy from people. So just tell them how you do it, how you choose your materials. It's really interesting just to see the behind the scenes, so if you can just put some photos there, that will be a good idea, just to see the perspective, from just to see the other side of you, and how do you work, and maybe from your studio. It's a good opportunity just to connect, to make that connection. So these are what we were just saying before. You have just share a memorable story. Use your photo carousel. You have, I think, 5 photos. Use them all. You can put a little video as well, saying, "Hi, my name is Silvina. I live in Brighton." Just it doesn't have just to be long. It's just something short and cute. That will be nice. And show off what makes you unique. Just tell them all about it. What do you care? What is important to you? Just put it there. Just highlight materials, production, anything that comes to mind that is important. This is another shop owner photo. Please do put your photo, and that would be really nice just to put a friendly picture of you, with no nice face. That always again helps. It says that your face should fill the 70% of the frame. So yeah, just think if you can just put your photo there, that would be nice, or a cartoon of you. It doesn't have just to be your photo, but that would be just nice, just to add something about you. Then branded packaging and materials. We're going to think about after sale. So packaging is quite as well important, just to maybe think of refresh, like you have the physical packaging that you can actually send your stuff, but as well, like when you are creating this packaging, as well, try just to think about like the colors, if it reflects your brand promise, like the palettes, all the colors that we were just talking before, and as well if it's recognizable, like put photos of the packaging as well. Things as well to consider is that will incorporate eco-friendly packaging materials will help illustrate your focus on sustainability. Is your primary audience compelled by a minimalist social media ready product packaging? What in-person resources can you develop that will delight potential shoppers and keep your business in mind? It's something again. I know it's a lot of questions, but the idea of this workshop is just to revise what you're doing and just to think if we can improve. People like just to have a little package, something nice, and if you can add as well maybe uh, kind of handwritten note that goes a long way, I think. Putting a little note on things. These are some example of nice packaging. They prioritize product labels, and maybe you can do a custom stamp or stickers or sonnet fabric labels or engraved metal tags or paper hand tags. What we just did before. That is the little details that I think it makes all the difference on packaging. And as well, the product packaging can be different roles. You can just show that the integrity, how it's going just to be arrived safely. But as well, always, you can just embellish with stickers. You can start with boxes, bags, or whatever that are cardboard, and then just embellish with something that is not that expensive. Actually, talking about stickers, let's talk about this. I bought the other day this. It was like 1,000 stickers for £5. And I have a thermal label. And what I did is just design very different things. One say thank you, one with my logo, and then I just print stickers. I printed my own stickers, and it was just. I mean, I have the thermal label already for the for the posting, but now I can just put a little bit more color. So things like that, something just to consider. If it doesn't have to be that expensive. It's, I think, time consuming just to maybe start with the design and then you just print a lot of them in different colors. So yeah, it's just things to consider. This is another example of very lovely branded packaging that I think is just super nice. Another one, things that are just really lovely, like labels and packaging. As well, we're just talking about like the handmade, marketing materials. If you just think, I don't know, like a postcard or stickers, things that you can maybe add something special, something excited to your package. I always send a handwritten note. This is another one I think just really lovely. In-person sales. This is more for my oh, hello, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I was just talking on my own. Can you see me now? Is it all good? Um, I was just saying about, I hope you can see me now. If you can let me know, that would be great. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. So what I was saying is that there's a discount on Moo. For if you have an Etsy Plus, you have 30% discount. You go to Shop Manager, settings, your subscriptions, and discount and perks, and there you can just found a discount for new 30%. Right, brilliant. Right. So we're going just to almost the very end of our workshop, customer service and social media. This is the things that we're going just to talk, the voice, your values, all the communications that you do. It will just say a lot about you and your brand. So now that we just talk about bring your brand to life, we are going just to see about like the communication with your customers. The customer service is always very, very important to, express the brand promise and just get the kind of the feeling of it. So keep that in mind, when you are talking to the customer. The touch points and the one-to-one conversations, the policies, the FAQ as well, they all kind of like reflect the brand promises. So maybe it's a good time just to, again, just check them and see if you have all the FAQ and check, and your policies. It's good just to always double check these things. Maximize customer interaction. I think it's always very good just to have direct messages with the customers and respond on time. If or answering a press request or addressing a customer concern, just quick responses are always good. If you don't have time, you can prepare responses on Etsy. I don't know if you do know this. They're called snippets. And that means that you go and save each message and you can reuse them. They're called save snippets, and you can just, when you go to the to your messages, you can actually save replies there and use them. Maybe you can use them to earn reviews, or I don't know, something about if you're going on holidays, or if something is going just to be delayed. I have several snippets that ready for whatever the occasion. Check your policies again. We just talked. Just set realistic expectations from buyers to protect the integrity of your business. Be very clear and transparent. I think that's the best way. Q&A. If you do things that are handmade and personalized, and they're not going just to be refundable. Just you have just to put them there. They have to be very, very clear. And strength, basically, the communication of your brand. Another photo there. Star seller, if you can have a response rate of very quickly, and as well, for example, I have an auto reply because I don't work weekends, so you can just set an auto reply. You can ask for your reviews. People forget about the reviews, so if you just can email them one time, maybe 2-3 weeks after you deliver, it's a good idea just to ask them for a review. And just postage, if you can post on time, that is always as well a good idea. Then in terms of social media, just try that your brand as well, and what you're sharing on social media can just as well get in the same feeling that we were talking before, like your aesthetics, the note, the tone of voice, think about that's public. So just think what, if that goes with your brand and values. So make it memorable, tell stories, tell people about you, say, tell them what you care, what's important to you. I think that they go very long way. So expand and use your hashtags, keep your aesthetics and colors and visuals. Remember the tone, the way that you are speaking, the way that you're writing, maybe positive, cheerful, just kind of like something engaging. And explore video. Maybe you can just do some videos for TikTok or Reels. Now, the great thing about Reels is that you can use templates. So if you're not very creative, you can use the templates there and have a little bit of fun with your videos. There's another little photo of visuals. So these are worksheets that, if you can, I will right now leave them. If you want us to do, so I'm going just to move myself there so you can just get a screen grab. If you want us to grab a screen grab of this target market worksheet, it's a good idea just to think about the thing that we were talking about, your ideal customer. So it's something to define, one was the ideal customer, and another one is to define your brand. So if you want us to do a screen grab of this screen right now, and then you can just do a little homework if you fancy. But it's always, these things are very good just to have a thought, have a play, to just to remember, like remind you about your brand and your ideal customer and your market. Right, we are now at the end of the workshop. So, do you have any questions? Do you want us to write the questions on the chat? Thank you so much for attending the workshop. And now I'm here, and I'm going just to be 1 or 2 minutes waiting just to see if there are the questions right now for me. Just to read, it's a lot of no questions for now. So if you